Hey everybody, how's it going? So, I haven't made a video in a while because I was crazy, super busy getting ready for my huge June shop update, which just got pretty much done with yesterday, and so I realized that my oats are prime for harvesting, so I am here to talk to you today about Milky Oats and how awesome she is. Now, I'm not out in the wild. I'm actually just in my backyard, as you'd call it. I'm on a little over an acre, so it's a pretty big yard. And I'm just here with these cultivated Milky Oat plants. I grow the Cayuse variety. And now you know this plant as what makes oatmeal. But did you know that there's a particular stage in her development where she does something really cool? Let me show you. Let me find the right one here. They're all the right one. I'm just, I'm like, this is the one that I feel like will put on a really good show. So, let me see. I don't know how close I can get with it. I can't see a thing. I just want you to know that that sun is so crazy bright and it's not quite above head yet. And so I tried to set the camera up the other way, but then my face is totally dark because the light's behind me. So bear with me while I try to see. Okay, so that's pretty well focused. Something neat's gonna happen. Watch the tip here. No, that one's not milky yet. Maybe this one is. Nothing neat happened. Oh, there we go. There we go. They just started to turn about 3 days ago. And you really only got about a 5 to 7 day window of harvesting. Maybe this one's better. And so I like to wait till about the 3rd day. Oh, I dropped it. Let me find it. There it is. I don't want to waste it. So let's see if I can make that work a little bit better. This one looks pretty fat and juicy. No? Gonna make me a liar? No, there it is. There it is. These aren't holeless, so you've got to push through all the little membrane here. But let me find another one and do it again, because you're like, I'm not seeing nothing. Okay, I'm peeling off the hole. Basically what I'm doing is I'm squeezing what's turning into, oh, dropped another one, what's turning into the oat, the grain, and a white milky substance. There you go, that was a good one. Comes gushing out. See? Now that is latex, a natural latex. It's kind of sticky. And she has some amazing properties to her. So what we do is we grow these oats, not for the grain. Something got in my eye. We grow these oats not to produce grain, but to catch them at their milky stage. So what I will do now is come in here and harvest all of these grains, all of these milky tops, and I will make a tincture. Because I want to catch that latex. And you're like, why would I want to make a tincture out of that? Well, she's an awesome nervine, meaning she's, sorry, I'm trying to keep myself from going blind, meaning she will calm you down. She's good for anxiety. She's good for nervousness. Milky Oats in particular is really good for adrenaline fatigue. She's also pretty awesome for PPD, which is postpartum depression, so like after you've given birth. She's just anything nourishing, nerve-related, stress dealing with, anything like that, Milky Oats is amazing for. And she's super gentle. I mean, she's good for insomnia. The only people that I would say shouldn't be using Milky Oats is those who have a severe latex allergy. Now, not everybody reacts to naturally occurring latex, but that's not something you really want to take a risk with if you do have a severe latex allergy and you're going to be taking this internally. You're not going to be like, I wonder what'll happen. So be mindful about that. But I love her. I love her. I love her to death. And in a little bit I'll show you how to harvest her. And you're thinking, well, does she grow in the wild? Oh. The wind took the camera on a tripod. It's pretty windy where we live most of the time. She does grow in the wild. There are different like wild strains of her. But I would just say that you can hunt her down, but she does tend to like to grow with other wild type oats and things. And so it's a little bit more tedious because you have to be careful what you're gathering is actually what you're gathering. So here I have a pretty big patch. Let me show you right quick. This is my milky oat patch, and the cayuse variety doesn't get very tall. And I know that any top I gather here, I'm trying to make it so you don't fall over, any top that I gather here is going to be what I need it to be, you know, so there's no guessing game, and you can harvest a lot quicker, as far as not having to be like, okay, this plant is correct, harvest, this plant is correct, harvest, and eventually you would get quicker at that. But also, they don't tend to grow super abundantly in the wild, meaning like they are out there, but like you'll find like a patch like this size, and you can make a small amount of tincture with that. So, but oats will grow pretty much anywhere. So like I planted these in early spring, but after I harvest today, we'll turn this soil and we'll plant again, and we'll get a bumper crop, because we don't need enough time for her to fully form an oat. We just need enough time for her to go into milky stage, which is about 3 weeks after she starts growing, maybe 4 weeks, depending on your climate. But then we'll get a small bumper crop, and then we'll plant again, and then she will overwinter and come up in the spring. Now you're thinking, well, I live in a, you know, maybe you live in like a really cold climate. Well, we live in a high mountain desert in northeast Oregon, so like it's gonna get warm today, probably about 100 degrees. In the middle of summer, it'll get up to 115, 120. This is Fahrenheit. But in the winter time, we can hit -20. So when I say she can overwinter, I mean she can overwinter. And of course, pick a strain that's like the cayuse oats are really particular, are really good for cold winters. But that way, come spring, I don't have to plant anything again. She will just come right up. And then I can maybe even get 3, maybe 4 bumper crops in the same year. Now, you've probably heard me 1,000,001 times over on Instagram and other places tell you that you need to be drinking nourishing herbal infusions, and I stand by that, you do. And they're just an amazing way to nourish yourself, and one of those nourishing herbal infusions that I always recommend is oat straw. And oat straw is literally the byproduct of growing oats. So like oat straw, like this is oat straw. But when you buy it, like from bulk herbal places, which is the easiest way to go, honestly, for the most part, you know, it's all chopped up, and it's the byproduct. It's like when, like hay comes from when they're done harvesting wheat, and then because when they harvest wheat, they don't take it all. They just take the top, the wheat grain, and then they go back and they make hay out of the stalk that's left over. Now, I see a lot of people do that with milky oats, and that's fine, but I don't choose to do it because there's something going on with this plant that people aren't taking into consideration. Right now, she is pouring every inch of her resources, her nutrients, her everything, into these milky oat tops. So when we harvest her and we decide to take her greenery here, her leaves and such, and dry that and use it for nourishing herbal infusions, it's okay, but it's not as medicinally or nutritionally rich as it could be. So what I actually like to do is grow an entire another crop, plant this somewhere else, or use one of my bumper crops as it, and harvest her greenery. It looks just like grass when it's coming up, before she goes to oat. That way she's only focusing on pouring her nutrition at that point in time and all of her attributes into her leaf. She's not focusing on creating fruit or grain at this point. You know what I mean? So that's what I like to do. It's not always feasible for people to do that, but if you have the space and you have the time to experiment and you want to grow some of your own oat straw for nourishing herbal infusions, that would be the way I would go. I feel like you just you get the most nourishment for time put in. Okay, so you've heard me jabber enough. So how about I show you how to harvest these oats. Now I'm going to take this off so I can hopefully see what's going on here a little bit better. So I always use a harvesting basket, and let's see if you can see this. See these oats right here? I am going to actually, let me make this a little taller. My husband's not here right now. Usually I have him on camera duty. Okay, so, come on camera, whoa! Trying to get it to bend for me. I haven't used this tripod very often, so bear with me. Let me see if that's showing you. Oh, it turned the camera upside down on me, but I think you can see it just fine. So all I'm gonna do, and I've got my little basket here, all I'm gonna do is put my hand on these Milky Oats right here, and I'm gonna run up, just like that. And for the most part, the only thing that you end up gathering is these oat tops, and I'm just going to toss them into my basket that I keep tied to myself because it's easier with two hands. I can go really quick. And then before you know it, you've got yourself a basket full. Let me see if you can see what I'm doing. This, I know, is not the best video. Hey, how about I go down on my knees? So I am just going like this and running my hand upper, see? And I have seen people painstakingly picking off one at a time, and I'm like, oh man, that's brutal. This takes quite a bit of time to gather all these tops, so the faster you go, the better. And of course you get, you know, you get some oat straw in there too, but that's not going to hurt you. The whole plant is edible. Now oat straw, she's really cool. Like all the benefits you've heard of oatmeal, oat straw blows it out of the water. Like, and especially in infusion, because you're really extracting out all of her medicinal properties, like on a deeper level, because you're letting it sit for 4 hours till it cools down, and I like to stick it in the fridge and let it sit for the remaining 24 hours. But that's to do with the oat straw. Now, one thing that you can't do, I mean you can, it's just kind of a waste of resources. You can't dry these and make them into a tea that's as effective as making a tincture. Meaning, once it dries, that latex dissipates. So I see a lot of people like saying that they were making a milky oat tincture out of dried milky oat tops, and that's just not the case. You really need to get in here and be using these tops when they are milky, and using them fresh to make a tincture. So you might live in a place where they grow oats agriculturally, and you might be tempted to go harvest from those fields, but I don't want you to do that unless you know for a fact, well, other than having permission, you know for a fact that they are indeed an organic crop. And then understand that organic doesn't mean that they're not using pesticides. They're just using organic certified pesticides to protect their crop. Because if not, if you're just out there in any big old ag field, you're going to be ingesting all kinds of things like anhydrous and all kinds of broadleaf herbicides that they use to keep the other plants from growing within their crop, you know, and things like that. So just be mindful of where you are harvesting from. And honestly, if you really wanted to, you could grow oats in a container garden, you know, one of those big like a big Tupperware container or something like that with soil in it. You really could grow oats. Their roots go moderately deep, so you want to make sure that it's on the deeper side of a tote or something like that. But they'll grow wherever. And I think the Cayuse variety of oats would be great for that, because they, again, don't get very tall. So I'm just going to continue harvesting out here, probably about for an hour or more. And if my husband gets home here pretty quickly, we'll go even faster. But here, I'm going to check out what I've gotten, pull some of that straw out right quick. I'll show you. Here, let me flip you around. Look at how much I've already gathered. Well, I wasn't even paying attention really, I was just talking with you all. And so, you know, and so next step is to make a tincture, and I will definitely, when I'm done out here, get in there and be making a video of that. So I might come through here and I'll take out some of the excess leaf, but I'm not all that worried about it. And I'll probably put this into a shaking basket, which is like just a big flat basket, and where you shake it, and that will make the the biggest leaf rise to the top because it's lighter than the oat tops and come down. So, yep, this is just an amazing ally that you can grow yourself in your own garden at your own home. That can just really, again, help with nourishing depleted adrenals, your nervous system. She can help with anxiety, stress, insomnia, postpartum depression. She's just a really awesome ally, and she's gentle. I mean, this is oatmeal, people. This is oatmeal. You're like, oh, I don't know if it's safe to use. I'm like, well, can you eat oatmeal? Because if you can eat oatmeal, you'll probably be all right. So anyhow, I just thought, you know, I was coming out here to do this, and I better just make a video while I'm at it. Kill two birds with one stone kind of deal. So if you like my videos, be sure to turn on notifications. That way you know when I upload more videos. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. All of those things help you see me more and help other people see me more. And while you're at it, come find me on Instagram. Come find my website. Come interact with me. I really like to interact with people. And you can find more info about that by going to my bio here, and they'll show you all the links and things like that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time, okay? Bye.